Oh my god! Okay, so first of fucking all, okay, so, alright, okay, okay, alright, okay, where to even fucking begin? I'm gonna have to backtrack a little bit, but we're gonna talk about this first. So, first of all, spoilers for Shadow War Alpha, which just came out, so it is, you know, relatively brand new, so if you haven't read it yet, don't listen to fucking any of this. So, I was reading Robin, which I finished, and, well, I caught up to, wherever the hell, and that's where it was like, hey, finish the story in Shadow War Alpha, and I was like, oh, I have that, let me just jump right into it. Oh my god! So, feelings and emotions, right away. So there's some stuff that's, so I'm only halfway, and I had to fucking stop already, because, why does Batman have to be like this? Oh my god. So, first of all, Damian, he comes home, and Batman's like, so Raish and Talia, which first of all I called her Lady Shiva in the last one. I was like, oh, sorry, my bad. That's a different mom. But Talia, and so Raish and Talia come, and they're like, okay. So they come, and Batman's like, okay, well, we have to make sure that they're safe, you know, because Oracle is like, okay, you know, if they even, like, breathe funny, we're gonna know about it, Batman, don't worry. And he's like, yeah, that's all fine and good. And he's like, but we have to make sure that they're safe above all. And Damien's like, I appreciate that, Father. And he's like, Damien? And he's like, and Oracle's like, Damien? What? Damien's there? And they're like, whoa, hey now. And then he's like, and so they're, like, staring at each other, and then Oracle's like, Bruce, hug your damn son. And I'm like, oh my god, right? So Damien's like, okay, and he's like, we can, like, talk about all of this after, like, you know, like, but let's just stick to the mission, you know, in the moment. And it's like, okay, fair enough. You know, fair beans. So Raish is like, okay, hey, doing a press conference or whatever, and he's like, hey, I want to share everything with you guys. I want to share the Lazarus pit. BAM! What? So first of fucking all, Deathstroke, boom, right between the eyes, got Raish, and I'm like, oh no. Okay, so first of all, it's funny, because first of all, when I saw it, I thought this said Bane, and I thought it was like a new comic, so I just fucking skipped right over it. And then everybody's like screaming, they're like, no! And I'm like, wait, what the fuck was that? So I had to go back and realize that it said bang, and I'm like, oh, I'm dumb. So I was like, oh, okay, alright. I'm like, oh, he got shot. And then I was like, oh shit, he got shot in the face. I'm like, oh shit, he got shot between the eyes and the face. So, yeah, and then, you know, they shot Talia as well. And I'm like, okay, hey now, stop that now. So, you know, Batman jumps down, and he's fighting Deathstroke, and he's like, yo, what are you doing? And then they're like, Deathstroke's like, so you can either stop me, or you can make sure that, you know, there's a body to throw back into that Lazarus pit. So, Damien is like, I can save him. And he runs to try to get Raish's body. And it's like, 3, 2, 1. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, okay, don't do this. I'm like, don't do this. Because I'm like, you're getting a little bit too close there, buddy. And I knew they weren't going to obviously kill him or whatever. But, like, so Batman grabs him and, like, jumps him out of the way. So Damien's, like, angry, and rightly angry. Like, I mean, I get it. In this moment, it's like, of course, you're gonna, like, take out your anger on, and he's, like, screaming at him, and he's like, you know, why did you stop me? And he's like, I made a choice. He's like, I was out of options. And, okay, fair enough. I'm not mad at Batman for that. Fair enough. You know, you chose your child over... He wasn't going to be able to save the body anyway. It was like, you had 3 seconds. Like, what are you going to do? You can't save both of them. You had to make a choice. So he chose his living child. Fair enough. Like... And Damien's basically like, yo, fuck you. There's always another option. You are Batman. You find options. Like, and then so he's like, why didn't you just let me? And he's like, you know, screaming and like, you know, pounding on his chest or whatever, doing the whole thing. And he's like, because you are my son. And I'm like, aw, it's kind of like, aw, sad. But like, and he's like, come home, please. And he's like, douche. And he's like, home? And he's like, He's like, I wanted to tell you what I've been doing. He's like, I wanted to tell you everything that I learned. He's like, all the people that I met, all of my friends. And he's like, but now, he's like, I've lost 2 grandfathers because of you. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, oh no. And then he's like, I lost 2 grandfathers because of your choices. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then, oh, but okay. And Damien is a child acting out. He just lost his grandfather. You can't hold anything he says against him. He is just a child. He's only 14. Like, he's just a kid. You can't take him too seriously. Like, and especially because he's mourning the loss of his grandfather now, and it's on the heels of losing Alfred too. Like, the only person who ever truly showed him, like, unconditional love. Like, because even Batman's love is conditional. Like, let's be serious here. Like, Alfred showed him unconditional love. He loved him the absolute most. And so what does Batman say in the face of his child grieving the loss? He's in a state of shock and distress and anger and denial, and like, give him a couple of minutes, man. This just happened like 3 seconds ago. And you're so Damien is lashing out. And so what does Batman say? What does Batman fucking say to Damien, his child? Damien said, I have lost 2 grandfathers because of your choices. Batman says, if I was there, if I was the one there, I could have saved Alfred. What? What? Oh my god! Oh my god! Be more hurtful! Be more hurtful, Batman! Oh my god! I cannot! No, I cannot. And then he's like, Damien, I didn't mean... And he's like, yes, you did. He's like, I'm gonna find Deathstroke and bring him in, dead or alive, without your help. And I'm like... And then Batman's got, like, you know, like, the angry eyes or whatever. And I'm like... Oh my god... But he's like, Damien, I didn't mean. And he's like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Why would you say it if you didn't mean it? Yes, you did. There is a part of you that blames Damien for Alfred dying. Yes, you did. You really did. You blame Damien. Oh my god, it's all coming out now. It's all coming the fuck out now. You blame Damien. You blame Damien for that. You literally blame your child for the death of Alfred. Oh my god. And Damien has been struggling with this so fucking hard already, and you're gonna throw this in his face? Oh my god. Damien has been literally, in all of this, all of it. Damien has had a ghost companion of Alfred following him around, giving him advice, coaching him, telling him what to do, what not to do. He's had the voice of Alfred in his head, just there, guiding him through all of this, through all of the Lazarus games, all of it. Alfred was there, just there for him. Just, you do this! Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so angry and, like, hurt and shocked and just, like, I'm having some emotions. Especially because I just had some emotions, alright? In this one, he stole some Lazarus juice, or whatever the fuck it was, from the thing. And I'm like, he took it in this one. He took it, and I'm like, you see it at the very end, and I'm like, oh, is he gonna go resurrect Alfred? And I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna finally get Alfred back? Oh my god, I have wanted Alfred back because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't read it. Because I'm like, if I don't read it, it's not true. It didn't happen because I am of that mind that if you don't watch it, if you don't read it, it doesn't happen. Denial. It's my biggest thing. It's my favorite coping mechanism. But I'm like, I know it happens. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh my god, is he gonna bring him back? Oh my god. And then I don't have to deal with it at all because if he brings him back, then I don't have to deal with it. Then I can read it knowing that like, whoop, he comes back. Haha, doesn't care, don't care, don't have to worry about it. Haha. Doesn't matter, it's comics, haha. Okay, but no. So in this one, he has the fucking juice. He's got it in his hand. He has it. Where does he have it? Here he has. He has it. And he's standing at the grave. He's dug up the hole. He's dug it. He's got the open grave. He's ready to do it. God, it breaks my heart. He's like, oh my god, like, I want to cry. He's like, God, he said, something is wrong. Batman is gone, which isn't surprising. He said, but I can fix that. Or, no, sorry. He said, you were the first person to treat me with kindness. You were the only one who always treated me with respect. You had faith in me. You trusted me, and I failed you. But I can fix that. And I'm like, God. And then he has a fight with himself. Like there's like a manifestation of himself because he's still tripping balls on that, like, Lazarus fucking shit. So, like, he has a fight with his, like, shadow self, and his shadow self screams at him about how, like, bad he is, how terrible he is, all this other bullshit, and he's like, you're a risk, a killer, a monster, a sniveling brat, a mistake, a burden on your father, on his family, on his world. You were not created out of love, but out of hatred and violence. That's what you really are. Everyone who looks at you knows that about you. Even Alfred. So go ahead, bring him back. Show Alfred what you are. And then he, like, Damien smashes the vial on the gravestone. Like, and then his little body self is like, you fool! And then he throws him into the open grave. And then, so Damien crawls out of an open grave, which Robins really need to stop doing that, because, my god. And then there's a hand, and it's like, here, let me help you, please. And he's like, Pennyworth? And I'm like, no! Like, you know it's not Pennyworth. It's his mommy. It's Talia. And I'm like, oh my god. I can't deal with, oh my god. It breaks my heart, because, like, I'm like, no, you smashed it. And, like, she says something too. She's like, why didn't you use it? And he's like, because. And he's like, every time somebody goes into the Lazarus pit, he's like, you know, grandfather, you, me. And he's like, there's a darkness. He's like, that gets implanted. And he's like, I would never do that to him. And I'm like, oh God. Like, I love him so much. He loves Alfred so much that he doesn't want to inflict that on him. He's like, he wouldn't come back the same. And I'm like, oh my god, I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you. Like, oh my god, little baby bat. I love you. I love you so much. Like, he is only thinking about Alfred. He's only thinking about how much he loves Alfred, how much he respects Alfred, how much Alfred meant to him, how much he means to him. All of that. And what does Batman do in the very next goddamn issue? What a motherfucking dick. Batman better fucking redeem himself. I swear to Christ. I mean, like, I swear, like, there's still half an issue left. I don't think he's gonna do dick on this one, but, you know. And then I have the second one, but that's all I got. So if he don't redeem himself in these two, we're just gonna have to find out. I don't think he will. But, you know, who am I to say?